Hello, everybody. I saw Bohemian Rhapsody a long time ago, and I liked it. I saw it multiple times because parts of my family didn't see it, and so they wanted to see it. And then I saw part of it, and I saw part of it with friends, and everyone liked it. Yeah, okay. Rami Malek, he did a really good job. He always does a really good job in what he does. He did a really good job in Mr. Robot, the little I've seen of that. Some things I'd like to say about the movie before I get into the music of Queen and how well they showed Queen. I think he did a fantastic job at looking like he was singing like Freddie Mercury. Did you believe it? I don't have any complaints with how they showed the music being played or anything. I think everything's historically accurate. Maybe a little bit of the things they said probably weren't exact, but I mean they had got their music played at the Oscars. Yeah, that's the time frame of this review. If this even is a review, this is my first review on this channel, then they're going to be mainly music oriented around the TV shows, but I like to talk about the TV shows as well. Some people didn't like it. Metacritic has quite a low score. Okay, but it's interesting that Rami Malek, am I even saying that right? He's like in a relationship with the girl in this movie, and he's actually in a relationship with her in real life, which I also saw at the Oscars. Not too proud that I saw the Oscars, but anyways. And I like Mike Myers' cameo, where he's the bad guy. Basically, he's one of the bad people in the movie, and he doesn't like that Queen's going off budget and going over time and then making this 5-minute Bohemian Rhapsody song that he doesn't like. I'll get to that later. But it's funny that he says no one can headbang to this song, yet he headbangs to it in Wayne's World. Just a little bit of a Easter egg, I guess, or a reference. So the movie starts with showing that Freddie Mercury was not originally named Freddie Mercury. He changed his name to his father's anger, and his parents, I think, were immigrants. Yeah, which is a true story. My mom was reading a book about it, and I got a little bit ahead of time stuff, so I wasn't really surprised by that. But I guess probably some people were. And the people that he asked to, I don't remember what the original band was called. Yeah, it was called Smile. Yeah, I remember. And one thing about Queen that they always have is these amazing vocal harmonies that they do. Like everyone can sing. Everyone can sing, not just Freddie, but Freddie's just the lead singer because he's way above average. They're all pretty good singers. It's just he's way better than everybody. And that's shown in the early bar scenes in the movie, that they sing. If without Freddie, they sing anyways. The lead singer leaves, and then Freddie comes up there, and he's with his. Apparently, his teeth are a bad thing, so they don't want him. It's a bit like bullying, I guess. And then he gets in there because he's a really good singer. And he's already shown to be breaking rules and stuff. He changes the whole name of it, becomes a little bit egotistical, but I don't want to spoil the movie, but he learns to get over it, and he becomes a bit less egotistical due to the circumstances. Now, how this movie portrayed Queen's music, I think they did a good job most of the time. The Live Aid scene is fantastic. It's just a recreation shot by shot of the actual Live Aid performance, which was fantastic in its own right. But they did a good job of recreating the whole stadium and everything. And they did a good job, I think, with the music, other than I think they went too quickly. They didn't show enough of the music, or how big they were. They kind of mentioned, Freddie says, apparently it was the biggest paying audience. That's not even close to how he sounds. apparently the biggest paying audience ever. But I didn't feel the weight of Queen, because probably the weight of Queen wasn't even that great. In the 70s, I think they were the best. In the 80s, they kind of fell down, which is why they show that with Freddie. Oh, I can't spoil it, but I think in the 80s they kind of fell down, and then that Live Aid brought them back up. But they didn't show Queen's massive success. It's like huge, and of course the movies probably made it even bigger now. But yeah, they show like them touring America and all this stuff, like they do in all of the movies, touring. But I like that they showed that he went through a bunch of issues because of his homosexuality, because he sort of denied it at the beginning, and then he came to accept it later in life, and how it caused all the problems with the band. And they did a good job with the drama, and they made a lot of people cry in the theater, I think. They didn't make me cry. They almost made me cry. I don't usually cry in movies. But they okay, one thing about the music. Music's very important in this movie, of course. Bohemian Rhapsody is the big song. It's like spent 15 minutes of screen time is just spent on the making of Bohemian Rhapsody. There's one scene where Rami, he acts out the playing of the very first time Freddie plays Bohemian Rhapsody's piano part at the beginning, and he's like shaking. I thought that was really cool. According to the movie, they made the entire Night at the Opera album at like some cabin place, which is kind of weird. I don't think it's too weird, because they still had all the supplies, and they had a lot of interesting cuts. I thought that was the best part of the movie. It's around there, because you get to see the creative process. But then they sort of focused more on Freddie's gay stuff, to put it bluntly, later on. And there's a lot of drama, but I think that's where the heart of Queen really lies, is in that first half of the movie. And Bohemian Rhapsody is like, they spent so much time on it, and everyone hates the song. They show like all the critics destroying it, even though it's like loved to death now. Just so weird. And it's loved to death in like crowds. In the crowds they showed, like the crowds really liking it. I like the gong hit at the end. It's just interesting how culture can change like that, because I still think it's amazing. I thought it was pretty amazing the first time I heard it, so I don't understand what happened. And I don't even think it's that avant-garde or crazy. The Galileo stuff works really well with rock and roll, and I think it's fine. It's just Freddie's sense of humor. The song I think they spent too much time on was Love of My Life. I don't personally like Love of My Life that much. I think it's more for Freddie and less for the people, even though a lot of people sung it at that huge concert I mentioned earlier. Still, it doesn't really hit me. Yeah, I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was an excellent movie for Queen fans and for people that are just getting into Queen. But if you really want to get into Queen, just listen to their music. Don't worry about the drama behind it. Don't even worry about, spoiler alert, Freddie dying of AIDS. Don't worry about it. I think their music will live on much longer than this movie will, and we'll still hear "We Will Rock You" in every single hockey game and sports game forever and ever. Hope you like this review. Maybe I can go a little more in depth into the music next time. Next time I do a movie review or an album review. We'll see. See you guys next time.